What's up? Hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today we got Nicola Vizzoni. Probably said that wrong. He's from Italy. He's a three-turner, left-handed, with a PR of 80 meters, 50 centimeters. The silver medalist at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. This is the throw that got him that. And as you can see, he's ranked 9 right now. And then he threw a 79-meter bomb to get silver. And I think he's underrated because, one, I think he had a very long career. Two, he's one of the furthest lefties ever. Three, he's Olympic silver medalist. And two, he competed. Oh my God. And four, he competed in one of the hardest eras, in my opinion, of hammer throwing. Competing against 20 freaking 80 plus meter throwers that can just drop 80 on a dime whenever they want. And then fifth, I think he's very underrated because, well, I think the competition that he competed against just kind of overshadowed how good he was. To my knowledge, I think he's probably the third or second furthest left-handed thrower of all time for hammer. And he's a three-turner, so he's one of the furthest three-turners ever as well. And then I just don't think a lot of people know who he is because, I mean, he didn't really win any world medals, although he competed in several world championship and Olympic finals. But this is the only medal he got out of those. And then two, yeah, I mean, I think he deserves some respect, honestly, and some recognition for how good he actually was. You know, like the accomplishments I just named, really good. I mean, he'd be touted and praised in today's generation, and I feel like back then, though I wasn't like following the sport really back then, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, I don't know. A lot of people just don't give him the respect, and I feel like he deserves a lot of respect for what he did and the competition he faced and how well he did and the longevity of his career. I mean, he was still throwing 80 meters in like 2012 and the 2011 World Championships, so that right there is already 12-year span, which for throwing is pretty good to still be throwing like super far over a 12-year span. That's actually kind of crazy. So let's actually just get into this. This is his second place throw at London. As you can see, very fast. Three-turner, lefty. And yeah, usually I don't like watching lefties throw, but hammer throw, I don't know. Throwing like lefty looks really cool. I don't know why, but that's just a personal opinion. Like shot put and discus look just weird. And then javelin, I mean, just looks pretty much the same. As a right-handed thrower, but let's get into this technical analysis. So, wind, really nice and long behind him. Lets it drop a little. So, the winds for a three-turner are going to be a little different than a four-turner. Because a three-turner doesn't have four extra turn to build the orbit. So, you're going to see in his first turn that he will have a higher orbit than a lot of four-turners. All right, so that's why he winds and he has the ball down here instead of like here. All right, because he's setting not exaggerated orbit, but a higher orbit. So a three-turner's first turn would be like a four-turner's second turn, basically, in terms of what the orbit would be like. All right, and he's going to hit it right away. So most four-turners kind of take it like nice and easy on the first turn and then start to hit it. Three-turners, you can't do that because, you know, you have one less turn, so you don't have the luxury of being able to do that. So that's why three-turners generally are way more explosive and can push the ball a lot better. Well, I should say a lot. They're more comfortable and more in tune with the hammer than a four-turner, I would say, on average. It's a lot easier to be a four-turner than a three-turner and throw far, at least for men. Women, you can still throw far with a four or three-turn because it doesn't take that much to actually move the ball because it was so light. But for men, you don't really see that many three-turners anymore just because, you need the right type of athlete to throw far with it. So let's not let it drop, but you see how he's not just letting it drop. It's still long, and it's long behind him, and then immediately sits back. As this hammer's going down, his whole body sits back. So you see that his back and his butt sit back against the hammer as it's going down. And he's going to do this on every turn. All right, and you notice how low the ball is and then how high it is. All right, and that's good for a three-turner. And you also notice, so his style is he likes immediately to keep the right foot with the hammer. All right, which normally, a four-turner would normally have, let the ball pass before the feet move, but because he's just booking it straight at one on his first turn, the ball's already moving so fast that it's gonna look like a four-turner's 3 and 4. All right, three and 4 turn, a third and fourth turn. Jesus. All right, so it's here, boom. All right, and you notice how with his his right shoulder, he sets a direction kind of like Prismos Cosmos. So he's not pulling. The hammer. All right, he's just setting a direction, which I like. And maybe I'll go into way more detail with that. Sean Donnelly has if you want to watch how that's explained, he can probably explain it better than me. If you just go to Sean Donnelly's YouTube channel and then just type in and then his Prismos Cosmos analysis, and then he can explain that better. So I'm not really going to go into detail because that's just a totally different video and that'll take way too long to explain. All right, so he sets the direction with his right side. Really nice here. Really nice. Keeps nice tight feet. And you notice his his right foot. Sorry, I have to think about this because he's a lefty. So his right knee drops in the middle. Good. Not really nice catch. Really nice. Oops, wait, did I miss a turn? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. And then really nice catch, and then boom, push. And you notice when the ball is going down, he is up. When the ball is up, he is down. This is how you counter. You got whatever direction the ball is going, your body has got to go the opposite direction, all right? So he's not thinking side to side, I'm pretty sure. It's not what it looks like. And this is just my belief in hammer throwing. So you don't want to think side to side and rotate with your hips. You want to think about your body going back and forth. You want to think about you're walking backwards. All right? And while keeping the ball long. And that's what creates that speed. All right? So he's here. Oh, sorry. All right, so second turn, boom, here. So you see here, and then that dramatic increase in the ball. So let me play this slow-mo. All right. Okay, well, maybe you can't really see it because of the quality of this video. But, oh, man. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the second turn. There's a point that you can see in elite hammer throwers where they hit it. and you can see a dramatic increase. But you can only hit the ball or push the ball in double support. All right. When he's off the ground, he's just hanging on the ball. He's not doing anything. All right, because you can't. Because and some people will sling with their left hand, but I mean, that's a very advanced thing, and I generally wouldn't recommend doing that unless you were like super, super good, like a 75 plus meter hammer thrower, to even try and work on that, just because it's very easy for an inexperienced person to start pulling on the hammer and stuff. So I would recommend not doing that until way later in your hammer throwing career. But for most people, just don't try and do anything when the hammer's in the air. All right? All you're trying to do is just let the hammer be the hammer. The hammer wants to go up. The hammer wants to take you around. All right? You just got to let it. The second you try and move your hips or your upper body to add to the hammer when you're in single support, that's when you start developing a lot of problems, and you're going to change your orbit. You're going to pull it off its orbit, and you're just not going to throw very far. All right? So he's here, and he just hangs on the hammer. And the reason why he doesn't lose speed is because of this knee drop, his right knee drop. And for right-handed throwers, this will be a left knee drop. All right? So that knee drop, one, lets him counter the hammer. And then when it's at its high point, and then two, it gets his foot on the ground a lot faster. All right? If he just kept this, he would just be spinning around in a circle. All right? And he wouldn't go anywhere. And it would take forever for his feet to go down. So him dropping this knee really gets his feet down and really keeps the hammer going. All right? And you got to push on each turn. All right? Because that's what keeps the speed increasing. All right? And then you want to try and limit how long you're in single support. You always want to try and be in double support as long as possible. Same with every throwing event, but especially hammer. Because unlike shot put and discus, if you're in single support too long in the hammer, it's going to be a massive deceleration, and it's going to probably knock you on your ass, to be pretty quite frank. It's going to probably pull you off your foot, and you're probably just going to fly in the air and just land on your butt. All right? So you want to try and be in single support as long as possible. But what you don't want to do, and what you don't, is think about just stepping, as just like slamming your foot down to catch. As long as you're moving the hammer right, you'll just land perfectly no matter what. All right? As long as you're pushing the hammer and countering properly and bending that and dropping the knee when the hammer goes up, you should be just fine. All right? So don't think about stepping with the foot that's in the air. All right? Don't think about like stomping down and stuff, because that's actually going to decrease your power. And, you can develop shin splints just stomping on concrete constantly. So, let's get to his finish. His turns are pretty much the same. Gets here, really nice here. So you notice, so he's here, and he doesn't add anything with the hammer. With his arms, I mean. He just turns and releases. That's it. And when you notice when he releases, the hands go above the head. They don't go out. All right? This is a good sign. You want the hands to go up, because that's what they would do in a turn. All right? If they go out, and Nowicki is probably the only counter to this, but he's very weird. His technique is very weird. At least his releases. But for most hammer throwers, they release with their hands up. And if they release with their hands like to the side, that means they probably just released it with their hands and they let it go too early because of that. So like they tried to add stuff with their arms, tried to add energy with their arms instead of just turning and releasing. That's it. All right? On your turn and release, all you got to do is just pretend it's another turn, except you just let it go at its high point. That's it. All right? Don't try and add anything else, because then you lose all the energy, and you're probably going to hurt your arms because, you know, your arms aren't meant to take that much force by itself. And it's just not going to go very far. All right, so he's here, and he's over his... God, I have to think for lefties. Yeah, he's over his left leg. Yeah, okay. I got it. So he's over his left leg. All right. Boom. Here, and then recovers. All right. Now, in a great perfect world, he would just come here and just stick this. That's generally not possible when you're throwing like these kind of distances. A lot of throwers can't just stick the finish when you're going like this fast. So once he releases the hammer, he just recovers. But the most important thing is that he's back over this foot. If he was back over his right foot, that would mean that he got pulled, he lost his counter, and he got pulled to over here, and you'd probably hit the cage and lose his balance and foul. All right, so you want to be back just like you would feel in another turn, and then boom, recovers, and the yell. Love the yell. I love his yell too. It's very fun. Really good yell, and then yells in like Italian and stuff. It's cool. But yeah, I'll link his height, weight, notable accomplishments, and personal best in the video description. Hope you guys learned something, and see you next time.